Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about a movie called After Midnight, which I'm seeing conflicting reports of when exactly it came out, between 2019 and 2021. I'm just going to say 2020 and split the difference. But,
yeah. It's on Shudder.
Yes, we watched it on Shudder, and it is ostensibly a monster movie, but it's actually way more than just a monster movie. It's actually a bit of a relationship drama with a monster, but that's not to undermine the monster part of it, but that's kind of like what the core of what the movie's about, you know?
The basic setup is this guy has gotten the Dear John letter.
Yeah.
And he's in his house all fucking alone, and every night this creature tries to get in through the front door.
Yeah, basically. But to be clear, the letter is basically like, I gotta go. See you later.
No explanation.
And the guy's just left. The guy's left going like, well, is she gonna come back? When's she gonna come back? And when the movie picks up, she's been gone for like a month at least.
Yeah.
But ever since she's been gone, there's like been a monster that's been scratching at his door every night, and so he's been setting up traps. He's been getting a shotgun ready. He's been barricading the door. And what I really like about this movie is that you spend a huge chunk of this movie trying to figure out if the monster's real, if it's a metaphor, or if he's having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, the movie is extremely moody.
It is.
It has a lot of atmosphere, it has a lot of mood, and it's very much, wow, we're watching this guy just fucking...
Oh, man.
Wonder what the fuck happened in his life.
This is one of those movies where if you're going through a rocky point in your relationship, you're probably going to have some conversations after the movie because...
Yeah, because it's all about that.
Because the whole movie is about, basically you get to see him in the present, like distraught over the fact that his girlfriend's gone and the fact that there is a monster constantly scratching at his front door every night. And all his friends are worried about him because he's doing like wacky shit, like shooting cars that go by his house.
Yeah.
He's obviously not in his right mind.
And he's drunk most of the time.
He's drunk most of the time too. And obviously not going to work. During that period of time.
He's either, there seems to be some debate on that because he's either not going to work or he runs a vineyard and it's the off season.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he seems to like. My question was: does he run the vineyard or does he run the bar or both?
I think the idea was that it was both.
Because I remember the girl at one point saying she was a bar manager. The girlfriend at one point. So like, I guess it's both. Yeah.
Yeah, it's both. That's really common for a person to, if you own a vineyard in the middle of.
Apparently the part of distraught will be played by Gomez in this vlog. I don't know if you guys could hear that off screen, but the cat was just meowing like crazy at the window. Because...
that does actually bring up a really important point for those of you.
Yes.
Yeah, for those of you who worry about dead pets, there is actually a dead cat in this.
I guess Gomez was just reminding us.
He was.
What about the cat?
Yeah.
What about the cat?
Yeah. Now, you don't see it very much. It's like there's a brief flash of it.
You get a brief glimpse of when the cat dies, and then for most of the movie, you kind of assume before that happens the cat was already dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you should be warned about that, because if that's a thing that bugs you about horror movies, and I know that pet deaths is one of those things that people will be really mad if I don't warn them about.
Yeah. But it happens. The good thing is it happens really quick.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like he seems to. Well, he does at one point go to the bar, and if he runs both of them, then he does run both of them. But he goes to the bar to drink, not to run it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a one scene where he was talking to the bartender.
Oh, that's right, and she asked for more supplies.
And then she leaves him alone in the bar.
That's right.
And I'm like, who leaves a customer alone in the bar? And then I was like, oh wait, no, he owns the bar.
Yeah, the bar's his. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Anyway, we just kind of decoded part of the movie right before your eyes.
Yeah. So this guy's going through a lot of emotional turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
He's alone. He's in the middle of like rural Georgia. and he's constantly intoxicated.
And because he is going through the grief of his girlfriend just kind of disappearing on him, he's constantly flashing back to better points in their relationship.
Yeah.
Like, the movie opens, like, straight up opens with them, like, first deciding to move into this home that they're in, that the movie's set in. And then, like, later we see other flashbacks of, like, like the first birthday in the home, and, like, when they had friends over, when their friends started having kids and stuff like that, but they haven't gotten married yet and haven't gotten kids yet, and their friends are judging them for that. Like, you get to see all these little aspects where you can see, like, little cracks in their relationship in some of these flashbacks, but also the really happy parts.
Yeah, and it does that classic thing of it starts out really happy, but as it goes on, you start seeing some of the faults.
It reminded me, in that regard, it's a very different movie, but like that aspect kind of reminded me a little bit of like Eternal Sunshine, but like in reverse.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You know, it's as opposed to forgetting shit, it's and remembering.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. This is a really, really good movie, and if you're a dude who's ever gone through a really lonely breakup, it's really gonna resonate.
Oh yeah, and even the point, like, even some of like the contentions in their relationship, if you've ever had those similar contentions in a relationship where one person wants one thing and the other person wants the other, you're gonna find yourself relating hardcore to what's going on in the movie. Yeah,
because all the other characters are like their friend group.
Yeah,
like, you know, and it's not a very big, but it's a very varied cast of characters.
It's also, like, you can tell it's a tight-knit friend group too.
Yeah.
Like, they really know each other. I really appreciated that one friend who's kind of the dumb friend.
Oh, the idiot?
Yeah.
Hey, you ever thought maybe it could be aliens? I mean, like, you know, they could just come out of anywhere.
It's a panther, and the panther got hit by toxic waste.
Toxic waste becomes huge. You know, cats are just basically the same. Stop it.
That's another thing I actually want to talk about before we even get to spoiler territory, is that this movie, even though it is ultimately like a relationship drama with a monster lurking in the background the entire time, it is also extremely funny in parts.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of really humorous moments. My favorite humorous moments are the extremely on the nose music cues throughout the entire movie. Like, there are points in the movie where these music cues hit, and it almost feels like a mixtape he would have put together for his girlfriend.
Yeah. It's all like like late 90s, early 2000s sounding
like
kind of music.
A mix between like indie rock and country music, which kind of fits what this guy's aesthetic is. The songs would like literally be laying out exactly what he's feeling in that moment.
Yeah. A lot of it feels like the end of fucking Fight Club.
And the thing is that in a normal movie, you might criticize it for having the music be a little too on the nose, but it actually works for two reasons in this movie. One of which we'll get to when we get to the spoilers, because it actually builds up to something.
Yeah.
And the second reason being, it's really funny every time it happens.
Yeah.
And you want that levity in those moments, because you've just been sitting there watching him grieve in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
While a monster's scratching at the door, so you want those moments of levity.
Yeah, and you're just like, God, this guy's just fucking... You kind of get all the friends, even the ones that get mad at him.
Oh yeah, like I even understood like the he's not brother-in-law because they're not married, but the brother of his girlfriend
is missing. Yeah.
Like he's the sheriff and he shows up and he's just like, well, it's obviously a bear that's attacking you. It's like it's trying to get into your thing. It's not a monster, not an alien, not a toxic waste creature or a panther. It's probably a bear. And you totally actually like, you get where he's coming from, because on every logical level, everything he's saying would make sense in the real world, but we're in movie world, so
you're not quite you're
not quite sure. And especially since you're spending most of this movie trying to figure out, is that monster even real? Because he could just be having a fucking mental breakdown.
Yeah. Well, there's actually like a point in which you're wondering whether it's actually the girlfriend trying to escape something.
That's another question.
Let her in.
That's another question.
You know?
If the monster is real, since it showed up when the girlfriend left, is she the monster?
Yeah. Is it her? You know,
and the funny part is,
into a werewolf. What's going on?
This even comes up in the movie in dialogue, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I really, really, really dug this movie. Like, if you like horror movies that are like low key romance / relationship dramas, but are also monster movies, then this movie is the perfect one for you.
Yeah.
If you like movies like The Babadook, where there's a creature and the creature's kind of like a metaphor for what's going on in a person's psyche, then you'll like this movie as well, because it kind of fits both of those weird niche genres.
Yeah.
And also, if you just like, if you're just a person who wants to see a movie about some like redneck dude who's just down on his luck, is basically living a country song.
Yeah.
Then this movie's also for you. And we watched it on Shudder. I'm sure it's available on other streaming services, but I don't know if it's...
Well, if it's on Shudder, that means it's on Amazon.
That's true, yeah. That's true. But I don't know if on the other streaming services, if you don't have Shudder, if you have to pay for it to rent it. But you might, so just take a look and pick what works for you.
Yeah, after midnight.
After midnight. And with that said, we're going to finally move on to the spoilers, because I can't hold my tongue anymore.
Okay, so this movie is, it starts out as like a kind of like tragic, dramatic relationship breakup movie, but the reality is that it is a build up to a single punchline.
Oh, yes. It 100% is. All right, so one of the more beautiful aspects of this movie, I mentioned earlier about like how the song feels like a weird mixtape that he would have put together for his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And that's kind of partially true, because one of the plot threads in the movie is that, like, we see when he first brings her to the house in the flashbacks, when like they're first gonna thinking about moving into this house, it's like his old family home, right? Like,
yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
And there's also this great little joke about it looking like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, and it totally does.
It
totally does.
It really does.
But like they're having like a nice night where they're spending their like first night in the house, and like he's got his old boombox there, and she opens up the boombox and finds an old tape that he left in there.
Yeah.
And that old tape was a tape he made in like 8th grade for like his crush, and it was just one song played over and over again, so she doesn't have to like keep rewinding it. And this song, we find out basically in the flashback, kind of becomes their relationship song, their song.
Yeah.
Through the inside joke that was written for this other girl, Julie, or it was recorded for this other girl, Julie. And so the entire movie, we have all this extremely on-the-nose music cues that feel like they're part of like some sort of playlist. And then at the end of the movie, she comes back.
Yeah.
She comes back because her birthday is like the next day, and so she's gonna come back and celebrate her birthday. And we basically find out that she had gone off to her like 10-year reunion.
Yeah, 10-year like high school reunion, and
yeah, it was like either 10-year high school reunion or 10-year college reunion. I wasn't quite sure on like where they were, but either one would make sense.
Yeah.
But she was on this 10-year reunion, and she decided to spend a couple more weeks in Miami because she's basically kind of going through, they've been together for 10 years and she's kind of settled down in this house with him, but he's not willing to commit into like a full marriage yet, and he's also not willing to like do the whole family and kids thing right now. So she's trying to figure out like, well, what is she doing? Before him, she was planning on like actually being the kind of person who goes and travels the world and goes and eats exotic food and stuff like that, and actually experiences more than just a small town life. But she met him, fell head over heels with him, and is now staying in the boonies essentially, and has been for 10 years, and their relationship isn't evolving beyond where it began.
Yeah. They're at that point where it's put up or shut up.
Exactly.
And the thing I liked about the way that panned out is, first of all, the guy is not a bad boyfriend.
No, he's not.
He's not a bad boyfriend. He's got a fear of commitment, but that's it. And everything else he's like perfect at.
She's also not wrong when she says that I see the way you look at other women, because there's that one scene when he's in the bar with the bartender and he's giving her these looks like he plans to go home with her. But then
then he doesn't.
Yeah, then he doesn't, and her ride arrives. So you kind of, like, when she says later, like, I see the way you look at other girls, and you used to look at me that way. You're like, oh, man, like, you're not wrong. We did see him.
Yeah, we did see him do that.
We did see him do that. You're like...
Yeah, but even when he had, like, a clear opportunity to do so, relatively guilt-free, he's still like, nah, I'm not doing it.
apparently a siren's outside are warning us of something.
Yeah.
This vlog is just gonna have music or loud stuff in the background. Actually, with the music I've been putting in these vlogs, you might not even be able to hear that. So.
Well, maybe. You know, but one of the things that's really cool is that you see where she's coming from, but you're also like, yeah, but he's a really good guy. Why did you just fucking leave without telling him what was fucking going on? And that's like, that pulls you through the movie because even when you get the explanation, you're still like, well, that was still a bitch move.
Well, yeah.
Like,
There's two reasons why you like still find yourself going like, yeah, but like you still left him for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And more than that, you're right now, what you're dumping on him is two conflicting ideas of your future.
Yeah.
And you're kind of leaving it up to him to decide.
Yeah.
Like you're like putting it all on him. And there's that feeling of like, I feel like you should tell him which one you want, and then he can decide if he wants to go with you. Like,
yeah. Which does eventually happen.
Yes.
You know, he does actually make this fucking decision. He completes that journey. You know, which
absolutely.
is why it's a bit more about him than it is about her. And I actually really like the way that all like kind of went down, because it would have been real easy just to make this guy a fucking asshole.
Oh yeah.
But then the movie wouldn't have worked.
Well, that's one thing I really liked about it, is that both of them, where they're coming from makes sense.
Yeah.
Even the conflicts and what they want makes sense, how they're kind of contradictory.
Yeah.
But you kind of understand how they came from that, how they got that contradictory thing. Like, he really wants her to still be the super interesting girl that he fell in love with. But she can't really be that if she's just stuck in the boonies.
Stuck in the boonies, yeah.
You know, like, then she's there's no room for her to expand beyond who she just is right now.
Yeah.
And she really wants to go and be that girl and go experience all those things and all that stuff, but she also wants to be with him because she loves him, you know?
Yeah.
She wants to be with him, but she's not sure if he would be willing to go with her and live that life, because it's a very different life than the life he currently lives.
Yeah. It'd be 180. It would be complete 180.
You know, it'd be asking him to completely uplift himself and give up some things. Some things he might not have to give up, but there are certainly things he would have to.
Yeah, he would have to give up living in the small town. He would probably have to give up the house of the vineyard.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and definitely the bar.
Depending upon where they live, he might still be able to hunt, but maybe not, depending upon where they go, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering that they're in Georgia, they actually make a point of saying that, like, she was just in Miami, like 4 hours away. That's not like too terrible.
Yeah, he could probably
he can come back for hunting season.
He can have hunting
easy.
weekends pretty easily. Yeah.
Yeah, and also it looks like the house is paid off, even though it's a piece of shit. Yeah.
So like, there are totally options, but you totally see where they're coming from, and it's basically like they're both conflicted. And basically what this all leads up to is the night of her birthday. Now, she's warned her this entire time that, like, there's a monster that comes every night. So they go to and stake out and see if the monster shows up. The monster doesn't show up this night. So they're like, okay, well, let's invite everyone over and have the birthday party.
Yeah. At this point, he's like, oh God, I probably made it all up. I must be going crazy. Probably was a bear.
And we get this, like, really beautiful sequence where, like, the friends are all hanging out. They're playing karaoke. They're getting drunk. They're trying out, like, this really bad new wine that they've developed.
Yeah.
But they kind of screwed up on. Boyfriend, main character guy basically decides, okay, he's gonna put up or shut up now. He's gonna do it. And so this is where we finally get to hear the song that was on the mixtape that he decides. He decides to put up the karaoke machine and sing the song to her. And basically this is his way of expressing how he is feeling in that moment. It is 100% on the nose. So all the on the nose music cues leading up to that, it's building up to this moment when he's the one singing.
Yeah. And it's Lisa Loeb, you know?
Yeah. And basically it's just his message basically is like, no, you are 100% enough for me. I don't need any of this. I just need you, and I'm gonna go with you wherever you want to go. Like, wherever you want, baby, we're going. And it's super fucking romantic. Like,
yeah, and right at the super romantic part, the monster attacks him, because it turns out it being there, complete coincidence.
Yep, complete coincidence. We don't even get to know whether it was an alien or what it was.
Well, yeah, it's like it could be a chupacabra
Yeah.
or something, and it fucking attacks
It
them.
kind of looks like it could have been a chupacabra.
Yeah.
It's got a weird design. It's got a really awesome design, actually. You kind of see bits of it on the poster if you've seen the poster. Actually, you have seen the poster because I put it in this vlog. But like, you see bits of it on the poster, and it's a glorious.
Yeah, you
monster
get a
design.
couple of really good shots of this thing at the very end.
And it's a great punchline because like that jump scare 100% got me.
Yeah.
It 100%
Yes,
got me.
yes.
Because he's just singing the song and you're so swelled up in the emotion of him singing that song, and like the rest of the friends start singing along with him.
Yeah, we
And-
do that push in on her reacting
Yeah,
to his
and she's
singing
like
and all that
she's like
shit.
slowly mouthing the words and starting to move with it and starting to smile too, and doing that thing where you kind of look down because you're kind of embarrassed but you're happy. And like he reaches like just like the end note of the song, and right when he does, bam,
Bam! It just comes out of fucking left screen.
I jumped out of my god. Okay, guys, I'm the horror guru, right? You know, like I'm an emotional guy, but like it takes a lot for a horror movie to get me with like a visceral jump scare.
Yeah. It's especially like one that like, how to put it, it takes you a minute to realize how badly the tension has been building up until that point.
Yeah, because I completely forgot about the monster in that moment, and also I was like, at that point, I'm like, okay, the monster was just his mental breakdown. God, all right.
Well, yeah, because the minute he starts singing, you're like, okay, at any minute the monster's gonna fucking show up, and by the time you forget is when it appears.
I am not kidding. If I were to have made a video of top 10 favorite jump scares, this would have to be somewhere on there.
Oh yeah, this has to be up there with that one from what was it, Final Destination 2?
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. But like, this would definitely have to be on there. Like, holy shit. That jump scare is amazing. And then you get to see the monster in all its glory, and he like goes hand-to-hand combat with it and like rips off these deer antlers.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff,
like he fucking goes Leatherface on this fucking thing. And he's just like,
ah! And I also love this because one of the things she said, because she didn't believe the monster existed, was just basically, all right, fine, if the monster shows up, just kill it. You're a hunter, just kill it. And she does it in this really dismissing tone. And then you get the moment where he's fucking killing it, and they're just sitting there like,
oh my god.
and like the brother-in-law or brother, depending upon which character you're talking about, he walks in with the shotgun, and she just kind of like tells him to put the shotgun down.
It away. It's
Just let it-
already dead.
Let him finish it. And then essentially it kind of ends with a proposal, but without using those words.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the shitty wine that they first drank when they moved into the house.
Yeah, because like the part of the romantic gesture is he was gonna pour the same bottle of wine that they had started when they first moved in 10 years ago, but it has a ring at the bottom of it
He's
now.
covered in monster guts and blood, and he is panting. He can barely get a word out. He's holding the wine bottle, and it's now covered in blood because he's covered in blood. He's just like, I was gonna give this to you, and we were gonna drink it. It's the same stuff we had the first night. Will you drink this piss with me? Like,
Yeah. Will you drink a crate of this for the next 10 years?
I'm sitting there going, holy shit, that is the most fucked up and romantic thing I've ever seen.
Dude, who wrote this?
I don't know who wrote it, but I know it was co-directed by the guy who plays the main character.
Okay.
I don't know if the other co-director was one of the other actors or not, or actresses. I don't know. But he was one of the co-directors.
Yeah, and this is the main character, the leading man is like, he's been in a lot of indie horror flicks that you may or may not have seen.
He popped up in Bliss, Mind's Eye, and a couple others.
Yeah, he shows up in like 2 Joe Vegas movies and like a couple of other indie ones that I'm spacing on at the moment.
Yeah. But I knew when we were watching the movie, like I had that moment where I'm like, I've seen this guy's face before. And also his smile. Something about his smile kept giving him away to me where I'm like, I've seen him.
He's got a smile that reminds you of like Wayne Wilson, but it's not, no, not Wayne, Rainn Wilson, but it's not Rainn Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I could totally see that. Like you put like a beard on him, I can see.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he looks like Rainn Wilson with a beard for like a split second when he smiles.
You know, and so then like we looked it up and we're like, oh shit, Mind's Eye, Bliss, yeah, I've seen those. Oh man. And I gotta say, I hope he co-directs more movies, because if this is
this was great.
If this is the sign of the movies he himself is going to be making in the future, I am so pumped for the next one, because this is great. This is not only was it a unique movie, like there are very few movies I could point to that go like they're like this movie. It's kind of unique in its own right, and its weird combination of romance, relationship drama, and monster movie. It's kind of its own beast. But it delivers on being a creature feature while also feeling like an indie drama. Like,
yeah. It really does feel like,
while also being funny.
Yeah. Well, it really does feel like something like, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but a horror movie.
Yeah.
Or probably a better way of putting it, a movie with a monster in it.
Though, to be clear, I make a lot of comparisons to movies like Eternal Sunshine, but like this movie is shot way more straightforward than those movies. That's a good point. It doesn't do the Michel Gondry thing. Yeah, like those films are super psychedelic in their visuals and stuff. This is a much more straightforward movie, but just the emotions those movies are going for, Yeah, like what was that? 30 Days of Summer. Oh yeah, 500 Days of Summer. 500 Days of Summer. Yeah, like I can see a little bit of that.
But yeah, it is basically like a late 90s relationship drama that has a monster in it.
Absolutely. And I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I highly recommend it. It's fucking great. So, anything else you want to say, or should we move on to our information?
Oh, let's move on to our information. All
right.
You just watch the movie at this point.
Where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Well, you can find me at JackSatanWave on Twitter. You can find me Count_Jackula on Twitch. And you can, of course, find my YouTube channel here on YouTube. There'll be a link in the description below.
Absolutely.
And I stream throughout the week, but mainly Thursday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there. And how about you?
I did some leg workouts the other day, and my legs are mad at me, and now they're like, we can't stay in this position, so I'm going to lean back for a second. Sorry, my legs were like, why are you shaking? Oh yeah, that's right. I fucking put you through the ringer the other day.
Yeah, leg. You didn't skip leg day.
I had been last year. Okay, in 2019, I had been pretty good at regularly exercising. Over the course of the 2020 pandemic, I completely fell off the exercising train and would occasionally do it like every couple months.
Yeah. Because Jesus fucking Christ, pandemic.
So I decided, starting with April, after going through my birthday month last month, that I was just like, all right, I am not fitting in my shirts as much as I want to. My pants are starting to feel a little tight. I'm gonna work out again, and so starting in April, I'm gonna begin the workout routine. But of course, that means my body has not been conditioned to the workouts for a couple months, so now everything hurts.
I tried to cut out sugar, and that worked for 3 weeks. On the fourth week, it was one of those bots of sugar.
Snorting it like cocaine.
Yeah, it's hey, let's use the pandemic to get healthy. Well, not a bad idea, but kind of doomed to failure.
Well, it kind of has the inherent problem that part of my exercise routine was going out for walks every day, like an hour walk, just working in at any point in the day that I could, either in the morning or before I go to bed.
Yeah.
And the problem with it is I have so much anxiety about going outside right now that
well, yeah. I usually don't have any anxiety about that, and I still find myself looking at that front door going, I don't trust you.
And it didn't help that in the early days of the pandemic, people weren't wearing masks out there, so I was like,
yeah. Luckily, we live in an area where everyone masked up.
Oh yeah, people take it seriously now, which is another reason why I need to get back on the fucking walking train and the exercising train.
Yeah, it's probably okay, especially since this month in California, the vaccine's gonna be available.
It's true. So, with all that information you didn't need to know, y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema and I'll be there. And as per usual, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, this this channel thrives on engagement. So the more you comment on the videos, the more you like them, the more you share them, the better the videos do and the better the channel overall does. So if you could do me a favor and just give me any sort of engagement that you feel like you want to give me, because it all helps. Even thumbs down helps. So if you really fucking hate me, keep fucking thumbs downing me, because it actually just helps my channel. And if you would like to help out my channel even more directly than that, be sure to check out any of our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way. And with that said, we actually got another vlog that we're going to record, so we're going to go do that. And see you in the next vlog.